gameplay. So here on the right, we have our star player being, we'll call them Willow for now, and then on the left we have Brayden. So tell us about Brayden's setup.
It's a setup, all right?
Nice. Tell us about how he uses tilt controls.
Yeah, he's just a tilt control player. He's really good at doing the tilt controls, like, you know, like using tilt controls.
Yeah, and he's done it for so long now that it's just become natural to him. It's not that he's using tilt controls for the funny tricks that you can do, like glider vectoring. It's instead that he actually is driving with the tilt controls, which takes a lot of finesse. Alright, so on these Miis here, you'll notice right in the dead center we have Tim. He's in the red suit with the blonde hair. So my older brother actually made that Mii, and he made it not just one, not just two, but 5 years ago. I'm surprised he's still around. The switches are still getting used, but hey, he's here, representing the team. Care to share any thoughts?
No.
Alright. So, at the moment, this is not our match. This is just the team warming up. And in a couple of minutes, they're all going to get in the queue, join their match, and we're going to see some real competition. So these are just some random people that we found online. Now, there in the bottom left of the screen, you see 100cc. Do you know what's so rare about that? Yeah, exactly. And then with the online matchmaking, most matches are actually in that 150cc format, whereas the other CCs, 50, 100, 150 mirror, and 200cc, have all had their they've all had the chance of them showing up in online matchmaking far decreased. So to see that even today, just as we're waiting here, is very rare.
Got Brayden on
I meant 10, but now she's an 8. So, you see this star, it's very good for protection items, so just hit that guy there. Now, interesting thing with the online mechanic in Mario Kart, he didn't notice that she hit her until he was dead. So the problem with attack items in this game, the trails, the stars, and things that you hit the other person with, not that you throw to hit them with, is that it gives an attacker priority, essentially meaning that if you hit it on your screen, they get hit by it. Whereas in thrown items in this game, you get hit the defender priority, in that if you get hit on your screen. And so that's an interesting dynamic, because I can see you on the other side of the stage with your green shells, and then I just die randomly. And that's because attacker priority. The game doesn't know exactly where everyone is all the time, and so it doesn't exactly give you the most precise data. And so how frustrating is that when you get that? Here we call it running. Essentially, you drive forward as fast as you can. Fastest person wins. Now, in Mario Kart, there are two main strategies, those being running and bagging. Bagging is a very interesting strategy. Some people call it legitimacy, but I instead call it easy. So essentially, at the start of the race, instead of driving forward, what you want to do is hang back, get that first item box a couple of times, snack some coins. In this game, capitalism is rewarded. The people with the most coins drive the fastest. So you get those coins, you get your good items, and then you hang back until lap 3, which is where you make a comeback with the really good items that you could start fighting. Now, some people get really annoyed by this because it works so well in some ways with the most cuts or just interesting dynamics. Whereas I simply believe that it is a skill issue. If they do not drive fast enough to outrun my bagging, then they should get better. Now, just now in the race, we saw something interesting. There was the shock that came out, and both of our players got shocked by it. However, Willow continued to move forward. You see her on the right. And so that's because she was, interestingly enough, in the glider. What do you know about that?
When you're in the glider, you can do a motion glider to make you glide faster. So like you can use tilt controls while you're using like your normal controls. You can tilt sideways and it moves you faster while you're in the glider.
And why is it good to use motion glider?
Because it's faster.
Why is it faster?
Because like you're going diagonally. That makes it like the game.
Well, what makes you go diagonally?
You turning the tilt controls.
Alright, so a bit more in-depth answer to this question. Glider vectoring, you essentially drift off the glider ramp, which then allows you to move in this diagonal direction. Now, it's been proven that drifting off gives you that big boost. However, you need to redirect it somehow, because now you're moving away from the track. Very fast, but still not in the right direction. So instead, what you need to do is drift off, and then with the motion glider, what you could do is stack the inputs from both tilting your controller and using your stick. And so then those stacked inputs allow you to turn far sharper, putting you right back on track, giving you a couple second advantage over the course of a race, assuming you do it properly. What are your thoughts on Rainbow Road?
It's annoying, but also fun at the same time.
What about this specific Rainbow Road? You know anything that makes it different from the others? Other Rainbow Roads in this So the issue with that is really just that she's not a product that has gone for years in other titles, and it's really not great. So the Rainbow Road is really handy, especially in one of those mid spots where it does work. Now there, that was a very good shot by her. She's tossing the green shell forward, trying to hit those people in front of her. She doesn't really care about the points at this point in the game because she has that blue box in the background. She can just toss her shells and break whatever she wants. And there, we couldn't quite see it because he went off to the side, but she used the blue box. So what makes the blue box so special in this game? It's not that easy, but it's like circling around. Doesn't feel like it's so you can hit anybody anywhere, like if you're in the middle of a cluster of people, you can hit all of them. Unfortunately, sometimes in this race you get very spread out. If you notice how Willow is off and away, and how she's got a big gap up on that one, it's a bit hard to tell if she's in the right side. But blue box there with the game just because they're further around. Now, up here in a moment, you're going to be seeing Willow do a tech. And then you essentially swamp the tracks. Because underneath these tracks, they're both a little bit windy, and so you want to take the fastest portion of these tracks. So you see there, she just hops off that one on the right, jumps to the one on the left, giving her a bit of a time save. And also a lot safer, because if something comes on one side, you might really do, then you just swap to the other, and they're forced to follow, but they can't just beat because you're already beyond that. Now here we see a beautiful top two by our competitors. In a couple minutes now, they're going to be swapping over to their match. Do we know anything about their match today? No. Why don't we have our editor go check on that? In the meantime, we're going to watch some more beautiful Mario Kart footage. we go easy on them?
No.
Never. We'll let our editor back in. In the meantime, it looks like the majority have selected DK
What?
Mountain, a wonderful DLC track.
The machine, they don't know how to work the machine.
Do they not know how to queue up? Alright, so that's the disadvantage of having a relatively new team, folks, in that we got this new technology recently, and they're still struggling to learn how to sign in, press all the buttons. And the worst part is that if your phone ever turns off while you're up, it will just shut down everything. Absolutely atrocious, but it's what we gotta deal with, so we learn and live with it. Today we might be having some technological struggles, so instead we get to watch a worse baby park. Essentially baby park, but more on, and they've got lots of bumps. Pretty fire gameplay if you ask me. I mean, look at that, drive in a straight line, go around this corner, how beautiful, and then you drive this corner. Okay, I gotta step out for a moment. I will be back. You guys. Okay.
So, you got Brayden. Pretty good.
Alright, so we've had a viewer request to move our microphones a little bit closer. They say that our volume is a bit low. Is there any way that we could turn that up manually, Blake? Alright, so while that happens, a bit of commentary on what's going on behind the scenes here. Essentially, what has happened is the competitors that we're supposed to be facing today have had to delay. They're having some technical issues. One of their switches just died. And so they're trying to get it back to working. They say it's restarting. They'll be ready in about 2 minutes or so. And then they can send the code and we'll get into the lobby. So, interesting things on the match. So, tell us more about what goes on in a Mario Kart match. What's its format? How does it work?
So there's only the competitors. There's no bots. There's no bot like AI driving by you. So you only have to worry about those people.
And how many people are there?
There's 8 people.
And are they split into teams or is it individual? How does this entire setup work?
So they're split into teams by there's it's a team match, so they're split into teams. So their school will have their teams, there are 4 people on their team, and there'll be 4 people on our team.
And so are there any basic strategies that people tend to use in these team formats, or is it just drive, drive, drive?
I'm not sure. I haven't learned my team that well yet,
Okay.
so I don't know if they want to strategize and all.
Bit of insight into other people's teams. Oh, we're on 100cc again. That's really lucky. Anyways, insight into these teams, because it's a 4-on-4 match, essentially what happens is the way that the points work when Mario Kart races happen. First place gets 10 points, second gets 8, and then the lower places continue to get less points, with 8th placed at the very bottom getting 1 point. And so the optimal strategy is obviously to have top 4 that gives you the most points. But what a lot of people will actually do is they will go for first and second with 2 runners, and then they will have 2 baggers, which are then staying back trying to get the good items for their team. These items is the lightning and the blue shell, because the blue shell will go for the first place of the opponent team, and the lightning will only shock the opponent team. And so if you can have 2 people trying to get those items, staying really far back, it doesn't matter if they get 7th and 8th, because first and second give you enough points to win the match. That just first and second, 7th and 8th is winning points, is what we call it. And so, as you work together as a team, another thing that we really try to have is communication. Because our 4 team members are sitting right next to each other, they try to call out their items. Like here, Willow is probably calling out, I'm in first, I'm holding a green. Okay, green got broken, no protection. Oh, I've got a bomb. And so just call-outs like that help people stay really aware. Like here, Brayden is threatening anybody who comes up behind Willow with his boombox. If anybody tries to hit either of them, they just get obliterated by that. Now there, Willow's bomb got stolen. Interesting thing, do you know the odds for boots? Okay, so it's really simple logic. Essentially, first place has the highest chance of being stolen from, and then places decrease from there as we move down. I'm not gonna stop yapping. I enjoy my yapping. If you aren't here for my yapping, you can leave. Anyways, so more yapping. Where was I? I was on boo chances. Yes. So essentially, first place has the highest chance, and then the person directly in front of you has the lowest chance. You can't steal from somebody who is who is behind you with the boo. And so a lot of times with first place, the protection that you want to have is a shell, like a green or a red, or maybe even a banana, followed by a boombox. That way you can protect against shells and bananas and whatnot, and then also a blue shell if it were to come for you. Now, something interesting is that it would obviously be optimal to hold 2 boomboxes at the same time. However, the odds on that are such that it's physically impossible. It's hardwired into the game's item code that you can't actually get that.
And Brayden's bragging that he's using tilt controls, like always.
Such gameplay. Alright. Interesting thing with that track roll. Do you know how to predict it?
The what?
The roll of the track, who it lands on, what map it is.
No, I don't.
Alright, so the way to predict that is essentially from the person or the track that it stops, or not that it stops spinning on, that it slows down spinning on, you then cross to the other side of the people and then count 2 more people, and that's the track it goes on. And so that extra 5 or 10 seconds of time save is a really big help if you're using some cheekier strategies. One of them is to be on a website, the one that I know of is shortcut.go, where you could just type in the name of the track and it will give you exactly what is going on. Now here they had to quit because their match is starting and they need to join the queue, but that interesting prediction is just enough time for you to look up, get a little bit of a leeway on your opponents. If y'all don't want yapping, what do you want? Gotta tell us in chat, what are we looking for if not yapping? Because that's all I know how to do. The inner workings of Mario Kart are known to be. And I'm going to tell you what they are. if you don't tell me something else to tell you. That is a threat.
We probably shouldn't threat people on here.
Coconut Mall music, always a good way to start out a match. Well, as a matter of fact, only one of us is a nerd. The other one is just here.
Yeah.
He's the nerd.
No, I'm not the nerd. You're the nerd. I'm just sitting here. Because you know everything about Mario Kart.
Yeah, but you could still contribute. You played the game.
I played the game.
You're on the team.
Yeah, I'm on the team.
I just got a little bit more experience.
Like a lot more experience.
Like a year and a half more. That's not much. Not much.
You've been researching a lot, haven't you?
I actually haven't done very much research. It's just that I played so much that you pick up tricks. And sometimes videos pop up. Like, do you know how a lot of, what's it called? Social media, when you talk about things, your microphones pick it up, that data gets sold to data brokers, you get ads everywhere, social media stuff starts popping up on your feed, that kind of stuff. Well, I talk about Mario Kart like once a week because I play it once a week. So then stuff starts popping up, I'm like, ooh, that's interesting, and so then I watch it, and then I know a lot about Mario Kart speedrunning.
And then you go down the rabbit hole.
Yep. One of the best speedruns is Blue Yourself. If we don't get some suggestions in chat for what to talk about, then I'm gonna yap about Blue Yourself. I do agree with chat, this is W gameplay, only the best music around here. Coconut Mall and Singapore Speedway.
So Willa told me that on your side, like on the side, not playing Mario Kart. She's been listening to a lot of Mario Kart music.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff, to be honest. Tour tracks and DLCs especially, they have pretty great music. You gotta move your mic closer to your mouth is what chat's saying. Can't hear you. Alright. Speak up a bit.
Okay.
And then somebody's discriminating against me because I have red hair. Yeah, I have it. We can kick you from chat.
Hey, what's wrong with redheads?
Forgot, there's a pretty big delay between what we're saying live and then what YouTube is presenting to our viewers. So the stream itself is actually about like 30 seconds to a minute behind from what they're seeing. So we're probably going to be sitting here for a little bit before they can tell us. Guess I don't have red hair. Oh well. Shucks. Nope, we're back to DLCs. DLC music is just built different. In and out and back again. Make up your mind. Shroom rig.
I wonder who's controlling this.
I know. It's Willow. Willow's the only one who cares about the music.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there's a music.
Wait a minute. Somebody in chat is trashing on my Smash Bros. Skills.
Oh.
Why don't you come fight me then? will smash.
Whoa.
See here, it looks like it's Penguin Boy 14. Just come to the school, we'll have a friendly battle.
Friendly.
Yeah, friendly.
Sure.
Friendly with no harm intended. We'll just prove who sucks at Smash Bros. And who does not. Well, maybe they were going to have a match today. It's most likely that we just got stuff weird.
Oh, we got Music Park music.
Music Park does have good music. Let's see here, what else is going on? Penguin Boy 14 says he plays Little Mac in Smash Bros. I know that's not quite the topic of our stream today, but a couple of reasons why Little Mac is bad. Number one, he can't jump. It's not that he has no jump, it's just that all of his aerials are garbage. Number two, his spike is bad, and if you do hit it, you're already too deep, you can't recover. It's a suicide, doesn't matter what you're doing. Number three. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna keep talking to him. Alright, just learned that the Smash guy is here, so after this match, I might just have to go and play with him.
We know who you are.
Oh, and let's not type in full caps, please. It looks like you're screaming.
Alright, here we go to the match code. Do not type this in.
Alright, everybody, time to type in this code.
Do not type
It
the
is
code in.
G8RR0. Let me say that again just for our viewers at home. G8RR0.
This is not a good idea.
Did we ask for permission to stream? We'll be right back after these messages.
Brayden always brags that he can use tilt controls. He always brags to the competition.
Alright, confirmed by the other team, we do have permission to stream this match today.
Hooray.
So it looks like we have all 8 Mii's here. I want to draw attention to the one on the bottom left. Do you know the history of that Mii?
Yeah, I made him. His name is Hamburger. He's a very special Mii.
Why does he look like a hamburger? How did you get that avatar to look so realistic?
I looked it up on a YouTube video, alright?
Nice. The Burger Miis are a personal favorite of mine simply because they become so ubiquitous with any game that you can have a Mii in. Now, there are other games where you can create your own avatar that look even more cursed than things like that, but Burger is one of the best we have. Now, you'll notice that there's a double red demon on here. That demon there is Regis Satan, made by Willow herself. It's quite the piece of work. I don't think I really can say anything other than that. So then, you'll notice here on our team... Wait a minute, who actually is on our team?
We got Charlie.
No, the avatars.
Oh.
The double Regis Satan's, Tim, and then is Borger on our team?
Yeah.
Okay. they were playing online against this guy, the black guy on the left. You'll notice he has, like, the tears coming out of his eyes almost.
Yeah.
They were just playing against him online. That's interesting. Do you remember if he was any good?
I don't remember.
All right. Somebody in chat says, "Hi, Harry." Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
All right, you gotta say hi back to Prideful Flyer.
Oh, hi, Prideful Flyer. I know who you are.
That's not creepy.
Hi to all my fans out there. I don't know if I have it. I'm joking.
All right, guys, we're having some green screen troubles. Give us a moment.
Good.
All right. So now you see the matches starting, and they're all forced to choose random. Do you know why that is?
Or you will get
Disqualified?
yes, you will get disqualified.
Yeah, so you gotta choose random just to keep things fair. If I practice a track a ton and I choose that track every time and we keep landing on that track, that's not exactly fun for them because I just constantly win. So instead, you're forced to practice every track in the game, making it a much more skill-based, much more fun experience. So here we start out on Donut Plains 3, a classic track for any Mario Kart player. Throughout the ages, it has taken on many forms, and I love yapping, don't you, chat? Now, while chat thinks about that one, we're going to move into the next stage of this race. So we'll see we have top two here, Brayden and Willow. Is it possible for us to go check on the other competitors? Editor, that's your cue to press the magic button. Button 3. Alright, here we have Iggy and Birdo. So they're in 4th and 7th, reasonable places, but you'll notice they're both on the tight frame. It's an alright kart, not the best, not the worst, but certainly good enough to get the job done here. So we'll notice Cat's there on the left. He's the Borger move. I guess Borger isn't on our team. I wonder who is that? Well, I guess we'll find that out later. Now, you'll notice that Iggy here just threw a blue shell. Unfortunately, however, we had top 3, so that blue is just going to do a couple laps around the track. If you watch the mini-map, it just flies off and disappears because it had nobody to hit in front of him.
I bet they
Yeah. We look at that orange Birdo on the mini-map, we'll call that something known as a hard bagger. Essentially, you go so far back that it's very hard for you to catch up, but because of the way you pull items in this game, it's a lot easier for you to pull things like the blue and the shock. Essentially, the further back you are from first place, the more likely you are to pull those really good items. And so having a bagger that's so deep, as we call it, is really good, although it is a bit risky because if other people are doing very well, then you just have that guaranteed 8th spot there.
Yep. So we got Charlie as Iggy, and then
It's Caleb.
no,
Is it? Isn't it Caleb?
no, I don't think it's Caleb. I think it's someone else.
Is it?
It starts with a C. That's all.
I don't know. In the meantime, so we'll notice Borger is not in fact on our team. Instead, we do have that crying me that we were playing with earlier. That's why he was on earlier, because he is ours.
Yep.
Alright, so the Regisatans, the Tim, and the Sadness. Eight people in chat. I think that's a new record for us.
Yay. I guess the people really like Mario Kart.
They love to listen to me yap, I bet. Alright, here we have Rainbow Road. Remember how we were talking earlier about how every single game gets its own edition of Rainbow Road? Well, this is one of them. This rainbow road is affectionately known as Choo Choo Rainbow Road, simply because you see up there in the middle of each of our competitors' screens, that is a choo-choo. One of the few ways we know to distinguish our rainbow roads. This one has a train. Now, something great about the trains in Mario Kart is that they're absolutely useless. That specific one drops coins on the track, pretty fun, but coins are not really all that great, especially for those in the back, because the people who are in front of them tend to just pick up all the coins, and then you don't get any. Unfortunately, as we've already discussed, capitalism is rewarded in this game, so you actually move faster if you have 10 coins, whereas having fewer. You'll notice Willow here, she's going for those coins. She uses a coin item, giving her 2 extra coins. Now she's at 10, which is the max, giving her the best possible speed for this track. Now recently she changed her combo. Do you remember what it was originally? Right, so it was originally Birdo Ink Striker, which is the Splatoon cart in this game. And she recently swapped it to Bitty Buggy, which has just a slightly higher mini turbo and acceleration stat, slightly lower speed stat, which overall is good in this game. It's a bit counterintuitive, but you do not want speed when you are running in this game, simply because there is a hidden stat known as mini turbo. Now, mini turbo is most closely tied to acceleration in that it is how fast you can accelerate, but mini turbo itself is not shown on the stat screen, making it hard for a lot of new players to understand why they're losing. They chose the fastest, or the most speedy kart in the game. Now, essentially, what Mini Turbo does is when you drift, it gives you that Mini Turbo boost. So, with a higher Mini Turbo stat, you're able to charge up those boosts faster, and they give you more speed from them. Oh yeah, I'm a yapper. You never told me something new to yap about, so...
That's the Iggy playing right now.
Right, so we have some players in the chat. Anything you want to tell us about this match? Anything going great? Anything not going great?
We'll interview after.
We might be booted off. We might have to stream a different game after this. But we will see if we could get one of them in here for an interview. You can't call me a yapper if you don't give me something to talk about.
I don't think you can. You're in the middle of a match right now.
That's unfortunate. Seems like a kind of a skill issue. Alright, so here we have Twisted Mansion. Now at this point in the race, it is just barely starting for our viewers. Again, that YouTube discrepancy is really interesting. Now that was quite the strat by this orange Birdo. So essentially what you want to do there is bounce the bananas off the wall so that your opponents can't see them coming. They can't check behind them, check the trajectories, and get out of the way. Instead, they're forced to just swerve wildly, and that time it worked out really well. Now, those wall bonks, however uncontrolled they may seem, are actually for alignment. They give you the perfect setup to just glide right on smooth into that opening on this downstairs. Now, remember that this orange Birdo, as we were just seeing them, is the hard bagger, so they're intentionally driving a little bit slower just to pull those better items. Now, Willow here with the double reds in first is absolutely amazing, because that way, when Braden on the left is in first, the Willow has those in second to protect it. Anybody tries to pass her, they just get shelled, boom, right out of the race. So these top two runners, they're doing very well, but oh, here in 8th, that was a nasty shell through the face. Nice golden shroom to recover. Unfortunately, that wall ride is just a little bit too much. Golden shrooms on this section of the track are always hard to use because of those sharp corners that you have to make. You'll notice it's almost a lightning bolt on the track. Does he hit it? He did. Oh, but then he uses a bullet, forcing him onto the bottom track. The top track is desirable there, but not the only way to do this. Now we see him taking those corners beautifully tight, snagging that extra coin as Willow. Braden is on the upper track, hopefully trying for the upper landing. Oh, and he just barely scrapes by here. Now remember that he's on tilt control, such precise driving from quite literally holding your controller like it's a steering wheel. First place by Braden. That Shroom, and he's our second, and it looks like this Iggy is trying for a minor cut. He takes 4th, passing that lady at the last moment, and our hardbagger takes 8th again, as is the strategy. Our editor is chuckling. Is something funny over there? He says no, there's nothing funny. I guess it is a bit amusing that somebody just throws the match so that we can have better items, but it is what it is.
At least everybody else is doing pretty well today.
Yep.
What team are we playing?
I don't know which school we're up against, but it seems like we're doing rather well today. Oh, Rosalie's Ice World. This is a personal favorite of a couple of our players, and partially because the music is so great. You remember we were listening to it earlier. But then it's also because it is such a fun track. There's an interesting tech. I don't think anybody here is going to go for it. But what you do is essentially on this first turn over the gap, you use a shroom or two, and mid-air, you pause the game, turn on auto-driving so it doesn't let you go off the track, and then you hit the track at the perfect angle. So what you would do is that ramp on the right there, you would just shroom off of it, fly across this gap, and then essentially cheat to stay on the track and get out the other side unscathed.
But you can't have all this.
Oh, that's not necessarily true. It's just a little bit disrespectful to have it on, to say, oh, I'm so bad at this game that I need this game to essentially play itself for me. And so instead we try to rely a bit more on skill. There's nothing against it strictly, but really you shouldn't, because this ought to be a skill game, not the game for me game. Yeah, I love gaming. Looks like chat agrees that the major bagging is working out for us. Now you'll notice there, Willow, she took a really wide line. That was a bit of a mistake. Now she's getting something known as cardio mode, where you just get hit over and over, and oh, look at that. She's in 5th or 4th right now. Atrocious. She had a solid lead, and then one mistake. It's all gone. And the water is actually less desirable here, but it's very hard to actually get up on the ice there. You'll notice it's such a huge gap that you can't quite get it. So you'll notice we're on lap 2 of 3 right now. If we're going to make a comeback, now is the time. But it looks like we're just going to stay far back. We've accepted our fate here on the right. We're just going to get those nice items for our team. A couple of bullets this race is really suboptimal. What we actually want to be pulling is those shocks and blues, if you remember. That way, the other team gets real slowed down. And with the way they're clustered up around first right now, if a blue were to come for him, they would all get hit, which will obviously be very bad for them.
Very good for us.
Exactly. Because all of them getting hit by a blue shell, which actually stun you for longer than most other things, would be bad. Now, you'll notice here, the hard bagger is making a comeback, actually. Instead, Iggy has been swapped into a... We'll see if he can pull it back. The extra traction on the ice from the star is probably going to be great for him. Oh, that wall bonk, though. We'll see if he can pull it out. Ooh, the shortcut here is you can't actually take that without a star or a shroom. So it looks like they're going to be in 7th and 8th for this one.
I think
Such a close match. But
I think he had his star. He thought his star would last longer than it did.
But then it ran out, as stars tend to do. Whenever you try to take a cut with them, they just decide, actually, I don't exist anymore. Oh. Well, I guess they just don't need to drift. They are playing pipe frame, which is a slightly higher speed combo, so it might not be necessary for them to drift at all today. So we'll notice we won that first set of 4 races. We now move into the second set. Because these are best of 3 matches, and each match is 4 races. Oh yes, we are using tilt controls, and we are going to rub it in their faces.
I'll get you next time. Did we just win?
Yes, but that was the hard bagger. You remember they got 8th a couple of times.
Every single time?
Yeah. Right, and now we select random, and we're off to the races. Maybe. Distinct possibility. There we go. The spinny wheel of death comes up. We gamble to see who's going first. And it looks like we're on Wario Stadium. Interesting track. Do you have any insight on it?
All I know is that Charlie practices this track a lot.
Alright.
So he should be fairly good in this track.
Our editor here today actually mains Wario in this game, and so he'll see a nice throwback to him in this video when he comes back to see it. Alright, look at those tight lines, going for those coins, missing a couple, but still doing just fine. That 6 coins in first is going to give you a major breakaway, especially as you get to get all the coins before everybody else. Now that coin item there, she could use it right now, but she knows those coins right here are coming up, so she might hold on to it just until then. But now she notices it's getting a bit dangerous. People behind her are throwing their attack items, so she swaps off the coin to the banana. Now there, it's a bit of a gamble to see if you're going to be able to get anything to protect yourself. And then during the time while the roulette wheel is spinning, you actually don't have anything to protect yourself. And so if your enemies time their shells right, then you just die because you're still gambling for your items when they hit you. Now here we swapped to the bullet. First lap bullet is rather lucky. Unfortunately, 2 bullets in the first lap is rather lucky. Unfortunately, you remember, we're trying to go slow here such that we can get those good items. However, we aren't going to back off from a 7th place. It's fine in our numbers. Besides, 7th gives you more points than 6th. Oh, I guess we're just going to hug the wall for a minute, give them some time to go. Now, unfortunately here, we can't actually stall for too long because Mario Kart has some built-in features where if you essentially just sit still for too long, the game kicks you out. And if you get kicked out, the race counts against you because the bots are kind of bad. So you'll notice that ginormous gap on the mini-map. A golden shroom and a bullet. Wow, that's phenomenal luck. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of phenomenal luck we're looking for today. Just use those items, get them out of the way immediately, see what we pull here. And it is a star. Now that's not really bad, but again, suboptimal.
He's also a dude.
Well, that's an interesting thing with our teams this year. It's that we don't have enough for a true JV, so instead we're just rotating people through our varsity team. So we'll notice there that was lap 3. Will and Braden take first and second, always winning points, and then any extra placements that we can get are always welcome. More points is good for us. A stronger lead right here at the beginning.
Got 7th place, like Major Bagger.
1, 2, 5, and 7. Those are absolutely winning points. We're going to dominate this match here today. Though the Major Bagger is saying he's selling, I disagree with that. Instead, call it strategy.
Bagger.
Is that not the Major? Who
No.
is?
The other.
Oh, there's Charlie and there's Caleb.
Whatever his name is. We don't know his name.
No, Charlie is just trying to run here. He didn't do all that great on this race. We'll come back to him next race, see how he's figured it out.
He did sell because he got 5th.
Well, no, 5th is still winning points. Like, 1st, 2nd, 7th, 8th is winning points. So to get 5th and 7th there, just fine by me. Alright, now DK Mountain. Do you know about the broken item set in this game? No. Alright. So essentially the strategy with this track is that here in front of these item sets, you just kind of sit and wait for a minute. Because you'll notice this cannon that's coming up is going to give the person in first place a ton of distance really fast run. Now you'll notice there, Willow had to pull out her red shell to block a red shell coming for her, and that's because a red shell in the cannon is really nasty. Either Lakitu picks you up and drags you all the way back to the start, or he's really slow, so you get passed by everybody in the cannon as he drags you forward to the end of it. So whichever way it happens, if you get shelled in the cannon, there's no way you're coming back. And that's why she had to toss out that red there to keep herself safe. Alright, so here we see a wide drift going for those coins, trying to get an item or two. That's your job. Oh, a golden shroom right off the edge. So that's not quite what we want to be doing, but there's a bullet to compensate. We'll see if we can pull it back. Now these turns are always really sharp. Having a bullet to go through is great, but if we swap back to the other competitors on the next lap, we might be able to see them do an advanced trick, where you essentially just hop over the fence on an incline, allowing you to skip half the turns. It's a major time save on this track. Now, another thing you might see is here on the right, there's some rocks up there. You can actually drift up, boost onto them, which is a very small time save. However, it's very tricky, and so our teams don't practice it, instead just trying to go for general tracks, trying to get it. So we'll see Willow here playing it safe. They're in first and second. They don't need to try for the cut, and so they just take smooth, clean lines around the corner.
They go off.
Now, something funny about that bridge, with the way it wiggles, it's very interesting. You might get 7 tricks, which is the most that we've ever seen. It's a world record at the moment, but you might get 0 just because that's the way the bridge wiggles. Now, on this track, there is a bullet extension. I don't know if our bagger here knows it, but they might be intentionally avoiding it just to stay that little bit further behind, get something really good from this item set. Unfortunately, all they got this time is a star. Oh, our luck this game is really bad. Looks like we have 7 people in chat. That's a pretty solid number. The most I've ever seen before is 8 earlier today. At some point, we also had 7, but 6 of them were one person with a ton of alt accounts. So, interesting lore there, but wasn't really 7 people. Oh, toss that blue right at the finish line. We'll see if it will make it. Oh, no, it doesn't make it to the finish in time.
That was a close one.
But remember, that first second, those are winning points. Beyond that, everything is extra. So a 5th place is just fine.
So our team hasn't really gone out. We haven't really talked about strategy yet this year.
No, we are still a relatively new team. The season has just started a week or 2 ago, and so we haven't really gotten time to get used to each other, to play styles, the way that we talk, our call-outs, and so that kind of thing is just a little bit harder for us right now. Something we have been doing a lot is that we've been doing what we call team building exercises, where we play games other than Mario Kart together just to make friendships and have fun together and see who each other are as a person. So earlier today, just before a match, they're actually playing a game called Ultimate Chicken Horse. It's my absolute favorite game right now. Would recommend going to check it out. We have it just on our Switches here. Now, I believe to Ultimate Chicken Horse, if it's not out yet, it'll come out by the end of the year. There's a sequel, it's called Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, I believe. And it's similar to the style of Ultimate Chicken Horse in that it's a platformer game, but you do it on bicycles. It is a race to the finish on a bicycle instead of just running around. Are there any people in chat who aren't fake? Is there anybody who can actually type stuff instead of, like, being a player on our team? Or am I just talking to myself and our editor?
I play bias.
It's an interesting question. A lot of times we have esports kids who are in the room today, or even the players themselves joining the chat, and so I can count at least 4 people in our chat right now who are just the people playing the match and getting some delayed feedback on it. And then a couple prideful flyer. Are you real?
He is real.
Who is it?
Tell us more about him. He's my best friend. We hang out a lot.
Alright. But is he still here?
I don't know if he's still here.
Well then. whoever else is in chat who's actually paying attention to this stream, I wish you a good day as we take second and third in this race, I believe. You'll notice Brayden and Willow in those spots. Now here we have the standard 5th and 8th. That's kind of just what's been going on today. Oh, swerve around those bananas. Nice play. We'll see if you take this grass cut here. And you do drift through that. Don't go off the ramp, as going up in the air is a major time loss. But there, you really want the extra coins and the item there. It is a bit low. So stream through that grass, see if you can get anything good from this dude. It looks like you just got a green shell. That's too bad. Again, back to our runners being first and second. Willow has a bit of a lead. Brayden taking an interesting line up there, realizing he didn't actually need the points, so he goes a bit sharper, gets a bit faster. Looks like we've dropped into 6th and 8th, but that's still alright. As I continually going to say, if you just top 2, that's winning points. Anything else is extra. Now, you'll notice that symbol next to the American flag on Alta Esports 3's name. That is the symbol for using tilt controls. And so, you know how we've been spamming, I'm using tilt controls into chat. Well, it's because we are actually using tilt controls, and our opponents can verify that just by checking that little symbol right there. Now, if you do get enough wins, I've forgotten exactly how many, it's turned gold. The symbol there does turn gold. However, it takes a long time to grind that out, and we swap our switches very frequently. And so, to have that happen is just going to take a while. Now, this is a track we don't see very often. It's DK Jungle from the 3DS. I think it's a very fun track, especially with the little tiki dudes that bash into you. So much fun. But it is an interesting track simply because of the glider jankiness that happens here. You remember earlier while we were warming up, there was something that happened where Willow got shocked while she was in the glider, and so she didn't lose as much time as Brayden because he was on the ground. And that's due to something interesting in the gliders, where even though you get hit, you don't fall out of the glider, and so you can continue moving forward, not losing all your speed, not losing all your momentum, keeping the race going for you. So if you get shocked in the glider, it's a lot better, which is why at the end of races, people will tend to actually hold up on their control stick to stay in the glider for longer. Now here we have something interesting. These 3 boost panels with coins on them, I thought they had gaps in them, and so the extra skilled players will actually time their shells so that they hit you over a gap, where you then immediately lose all your speed and fall into the hole, losing a ton of time as Lakitu picks you up. Now here, falling off is not really all that great because Lakitu steals all your money, and remember, capitalism is fire, and so the people who are richer have higher speed. But, you know, it's not all bad. We have a bullet to start to catch up. We'll see what happens later in the race. Maybe we'll pull another bullet, I guess. I was hoping a shock, but it's almost as good. Swapping back to our front runners, we'll see they're always doing quite nicely, first and second. Looks like Willow's holding a boombox, so even if a blue does come forward, as it's doing right now if you check the mini-map, she'll be able to defend accurately from it. That's probably great, calling it out as it passes him, and she's ready to just bat it away at a moment's notice.
Yeah, haven't Brayden and Willow been through like
So Willow joined the team last year, actually, and Brayden is a new addition this year. But they have the better part of a year to work together. I also joined last year, so me and Willow have been playing together for a while. I recognize her style. So they're working real close. You'll notice how on the minimap they're almost stacked on top of each other. That's them protecting each other, giving each other call-outs. Everything is going just peachy for them. I mean, look at that gap. Doesn't matter that another blue is going to hit them, because they are well on their way to a first and second. Besides, it's lap 3. It might not even have time. Nope, there it is. It's unfortunate that it hit him right there, though. Fall off like that. Though that is a shock for the enemy team. We'll see if we can pull it out. It looks like Iggy is in 3rd place. Can we swap to his view? There it is, the 3rd place by Iggy. First, second, 3rd. Top 3 is amazing. Alright, so in chat, we have you been requested to play Smash, and also a request for how long this is going to run. So essentially what we're going to do here is run until the match is finished. I believe that was the 3rd race of this set. It might have been the 4th, though. Give it a moment to load.
I think it was the final race.
That was the final race, so we're actually going to be finishing up very soon because our team has just won the match, everybody. Pretty cool, right?
Do we want to have an interview now?
Sure, if we could go snag a player,
Alright.
that would be great. I recommend grabbing Brayden.
Alright. Cough, cough, editor. He's not real, chat.
He's a figment of your imagination.
You want to interview him?
I think you can. He knows enough that he'll be able to talk. You just supply him with questions. Prideful Fire says he wants to play Smash with you.
Go. Alright. We're not interviewing you. Oh, we're interviewing Brayden. You can interview him.
Alright. Hi, Brayden.
Here you go.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna get an interview first.
Alright, so first, let's have the whole Mario Kart team come in here. There should be more of you.
There's one more, yeah.
Alright, there we go. That's the arm of Willow. She's our great teammate. Her and Brayden here were taking top 2 in these last few races. So tell us about what was going on there. There was that blue, and you tipped the cut, and it just went... It just dropped you in a hole, essentially. What was going on there?
Honestly, I wasn't too worried about it. It was... I fell, but it was right at the end. I didn't need those coins, honestly.
All right, if everybody could step behind the green screen here, we can have the whole team wave. All right, squat down a little bit. Say hi, everybody. This is our team. Perfect.
You should probably squat so everyone can see
Unfortunately,
you.
they can't hear you very well as the audio is coming directly through our microphones. All right, so moving on to our interview. All y'all can go home now. Great day, good playing.
Why is your hair white?
Oh, it's because the green hair blends in with the green
Hey, we
screen.
found hair that's whiter than mine.
The green screen? Why is the moon also
It's interesting that the yellow is also blending into the green screen.
Yeah, the bottom of my hat
Okay.
is.
Is there anybody real in chat? How many of y'all were in chat, by the way?
Is there anybody fake in chat? I want to know.
Well, I'm in chat, so... All right. Editor, any questions that we should be asking today?
Whether these people actually play Mario Kart or if they're just bored.
All right, so we've had the question posed. How often do you play Mario Kart?
You know, I usually only play on Wednesdays for matches, but I mean, yeah.
I have a statement.
All right. We have a statement.
Glasses are better than his.
All right, so we have a glasses comparison. I think that glasses are non-relevant because they mean you have bad eyeballs. Like,
Without glasses, how would we be able to see the screen in order to play it? It is relevant.
all right. So I believe that is going to conclude our stream today. Thank you all for coming. We could just close that up. Everybody say bye.